Thank you for your good work. Senator Cortez Masto then will be followed by Senator Blackburn, based on colleagues that are here. And let me also say to staff, let's put the word out that we're getting close to wrapping up unless additional members would like to come. But as of now, Senator Cortez Masto and Senator Blackburn. Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you to the ranking member. So appreciate the panelists, your comments this morning. Ms. Nelmark, let me start with you on the new markets tax credit regarding the tribes. Thank you so much for bringing attention to the critical issue of the lack of investment on tribal lands that we have historically seen under the new markets tax credit. I also appreciate you supporting the Tribe Tax and Investment Reform Act. Can you speak to the challenges that come with investing in tribal areas, and why haven't we seen more investment in Indian country despite the overwhelming need?
Thank you for that question, Senator. There are a few reasons why, and to start off very simply, it takes more time and more energy, more layered work to make those projects on reservations come to realization. In addition to the significant valuation gap, as I mentioned, as much as 50% of project costs reduction in valuation, there is also a technical or structural issue with investing in tribal areas. Tribes often use tribal organizations, not structured under state law. And as the CDFI Fund report titled Best Practices and Challenges in Investing in NMTC in Native Areas states, uncertainty remains regarding the eligibility of tribal corporations as qualified active low-income community businesses, resulting in additional steps such as creating state law entities and lease agreements to navigate the issue. So in essence, because tribal entities are not recognized as a qualified borrower for new markets tax credits, we have a lot more structuring around to get there. It adds time, cost, complexity. Excuse me. And so if Congress would consider amending the definition of the Qualic B to include a tribally owned corporation, that would be extremely helpful and would advance investments on reservations.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And let me jump to Mr. Novogradac. Is that how I pronounce
Yes, Novogradac.
Novogradac. So, and let's talk about tax exempt bonds as well for our tribal communities. I know that our tribes face challenges when in trying to access these tax exempt bonds because the federal tax code limits tribal bonds to those for an essential government function. And this prohibition severely limits the types of projects tribes can build with tax-exempt bonds in comparison to our state and local governments. Can you speak to this prohibition and what we need to do to address it for our tribes?
Well, I definitely support expanding the ability of tribal governments to access private activity bonds and appreciate your leadership in that area. I also wanted to emphasize, as a practicing tax accountant, the qualified business question for new market tax credits is really one that, getting some legislative clarity there would be super helpful in terms of simplicity and avoiding transaction costs. And then also wanted to echo my support of your tribal bill to target $175 million of new market tax allocation to tribal areas. And then also your other bill, Senate 1805, if I could touch upon that, that has a technical provision in it to allow state agencies to redesignate the use of private activity bonds. And that would be super helpful for a variety of purposes, particularly in the housing area, because if a state right now specifically designates, say, states can carry over bond issuance authority for up to 3 years, but they have to designate the area they're going to use it. So if a state might designate it for, say, rail, and then they want to, in the subsequent year, don't have a use for high-speed rail, they can't redesignate it for housing, be it mortgage revenue bonds, the residential rental housing bonds and the like. So I appreciate you introducing that bill and the benefits it could bring to providing more financing for affordable housing.
Thank you. I think we've hit everything that I thought was important. Let me just say one thing, because I appreciate both Ms. Lofton and Mr. Hawkins being here as well. I was a former deputy county manager. saw the benefits of really the work that we're talking about here, what it brings to our local communities, opportunity zones as well. Listen, I think there are challenges with it, but I also see the potential that it can bring to revitalize a community in need, and that's what the intent is. So I really appreciate the conversation today. Thank you for being here.
I